You can work your whole life and still never be free. That's the reality most people don't want to hear. Most people wake up every day, go to a job they don't really like, work for hours, go back home tired, and repeat the same cycle again and again, and they call that life, but deep down, almost everyone feels it. This can't be everything. School teaches you how to follow instructions, how to memorize information, how to pass exams, but it never teaches you how to build something of your own. It never teaches you how to create income. It never teaches you how to escape the system, and that's why so many people stay stuck. They follow a path they didn't choose, live a life they didn't design, and wonder why they feel lost. That's exactly why starting your own business is no longer optional. It's necessary. Let's talk about the biggest illusion first, the illusion of safety. Most people believe that jobs are safe. They think a fixed salary means stability. They think working for a company guarantees security. But let's be honest. There's nothing safe about depending on something you don't control. At any moment, you can lose your job, your company can replace you, your industry can change, and suddenly, everything you built your life around disappears. That's not security. That's dependency. Real security comes from control, control over your time, control over your income, control over your decisions, and you don't have that until you build something of your own. Now let's talk about something even more important, time. When you work a job, you're trading your time for money. Every hour you work, you get paid for that hour. Sounds fair, right? But here's the problem. Your time is limited. You only have 24 hours in a day, and most of them are already taken. So no matter how hard you work, you will always be limited. You can't double your day. You can't work forever. But with a business, it's completely different. You can build systems. You can automate processes. You can reach thousands of people at once. You can make money, even when you're not working. That's the difference between working for money and building something that works for you. Now let's talk about freedom. Because at the end of the day, that's what everyone really wants. Freedom isn't just about having money. It's about having control over your life, waking up when you want, working on what you care about, choosing how you spend your time. If someone else controls your schedule, your tasks, your decisions, you're not free, even if you make good money, and that's something most people never question, because they're used to it. It feels normal, but normal doesn't mean right. Now let's address something people always say. Starting a business is risky, but let's flip that idea. What's actually riskier? Taking a chance on yourself, or spending your entire life doing something you don't enjoy? Trying and failing, or never trying at all? Because if you never try, you guarantee one thing. Nothing will change. At least when you try. You give yourself a chance, and in today's world, you don't need much to start. You don't need a big office. You don't need a huge investment. You don't need connections. You need a skill, a laptop, and internet. That's it. The barrier to entry has never been lower, but most people still don't start. Not because they can't, but because they're afraid. Afraid of failing, afraid of judgment, afraid of being different. But growth only happens when you step outside comfort. Now here's something powerful. Starting a business changes you. It forces you to grow. You learn how to communicate, how to solve problems, how to deal with people, how to manage money. You learn discipline, consistency, patience, things no school will ever teach you properly. And even if you fail, you don't lose. You gain experience. You gain skills. You become someone better. Now think about this. When you work a job, you're building someone else's dream. You're helping their business grow. You're increasing their income. You're contributing to their vision, and there's nothing wrong with that. But imagine putting that same effort into something that belongs to you, something that grows because of you, something that gives back to you. That's a completely different game. Now let's talk about the internet, because it changed everything. We live in a time where you can learn anything online. You can start a business from your room. You can reach people from all over the world. You can build an audience. You can sell products. You can offer services, all without needing permission. There are people making money from skills that didn't even exist a few years ago. Content creation, digital marketing, freelancing, online education. The opportunities are everywhere, but most people are too distracted to notice. They spend hours consuming instead of creating. scrolling, instead of building, watching, instead of doing. And that's the real problem. Not lack of opportunity, but lack of action. Now let's be real for a second. Starting a business is not easy. It's not fast. It's not guaranteed. It's not comfortable. You will fail. More than once, you will doubt yourself. You will feel lost. You will feel like quitting, but that's part of the process. Every successful person went through it. The difference is, they didn't stop, and here's the key. When you struggle in a job, you're building someone else's future. But when you struggle in your own business, you're building yours. That makes all the difference. Now here's the best way to start. Start small. You don't need to quit everything overnight. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need everything figured out. Just start. 1 hour a day. Learn something new. Try something simple. Test an idea. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Small steps, done every day, lead to big results, and over time, those small efforts compound. They grow. They build momentum. They create opportunities. Until one day, you realize you're not stuck anymore. You're in control, and that's the goal. At the end of the day, you have two choices: stay where you are, follow the same path, live the same routine, or take a risk. Try something different. Build something of your own. It won't be easy. It won't be quick, but it will be worth it. Because freedom is not given. It's built. And the sooner you start, the sooner you get closer to it. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. Because you never will. Start now. Start small. But most importantly, start.